Hi, Harold. Happy birthday. Your oldest son, Mark, has asked me to make an attempt at this video and a short history of your professional life, which to me feels like doing a short synopsis of history of the world. So I've made some notes. Bear with me. Here goes. Harold James, firstborn of 5 boys and 1 sister on our family farm just right of the Mississippi at the La Crosse, Caston area of Wisconsin. Now, as the youngest brother, 90 years minus 73 makes us about 16 years apart. Well, that's how old you have to be before you can get a driver's license where we come from, and about enough class time to get a bachelor's degree from somewhere. In fact, my first knowing of Harold was watching my parents host a total stranger come home from college, whatever that was. And once with a Nordic choir classmate from Africa, so black he seemed purple to me. Now, I've heard of black sheep before, but I'd never seen a black person, nor, I think, had my folks. Now, my eyes were about as high as the top of the kitchen table at that time when we had breakfast. We boiled some eggs. My dad didn't know what to say either. "Do you eat eggs in Africa?" And the purple guy said, "No, we wait till they become chickens." Well, that broke the ice and warmed the house that made that table more than where we ate food, learned our place, and shared our love. And even if that word wasn't used, it was just done. Now, I don't know if what I saw, but I know it was what I have assigned to my memory and what I've recalled ever since. But I saw light around this guy and where he went and what he did. And it was an enthusiasm for anything and everything. There was a speed and an intensity toward life in general. And that perception struck me like nothing I'd ever seen before. And I thought right then and there, I just knew that whatever that was, whatever that is for me, what, when, where, and how, all came crashing in on me at once. And I guess looking for answers to that question for myself has drawn me to whatever I've been and have become. Now, Harold, your firstborn Mark, has asked me to say something of your professional history. I suppose because I've been to the same schools and done the same profession. I think I've been at every call you ever served. And the first was Battle Lake, Minnesota, a 2-point country parish. I remember it was dark, early one morning. We got up, got into a boat, and went fishing. And I caught my first fish, a northern. Your second call was to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, at First Lutheran Church. A church like I'd never seen church before. It had its own Boy Scout room. It had a ping pong table and a fireplace and a pool table and obviously a concern for youth. Wow. And I thought, how can it ever get any better than that? Well, I suppose coming closer to home is possible. Trinity Lutheran at Sparta, Wisconsin, 15 miles from the home farm. Even my high school friends took notice of that because it was in all the local papers. Now, it wasn't always easy being your youngest brother. The expectations and the reputation. I almost didn't go to college because you had. Just when I was trying to find my way and get my impressions, you had always done it first, better, and best. Well, I found a way, and after my own name's sake, there have been 2 farmers and 3 pastors and 1 teacher off our family farm, and each of us in our own right. So then you went to your longest tenure in Stoughton, Wisconsin, at First Lutheran, that place where I suppose your children have most memories. Remember, most of it was 20 years, and all of them very Norwegian, and I've heard some of the best family times. Mark, Karen, Bruce, Brian, and Kristen. And then your next call was to Pewaukee, Wisconsin, where my first impression and remembrance is not so much of your work as of your wife Marjean's involvement. I remember seeing the church school at which she taught little kids. And after recess, sometimes she would hear her students say they had very wobbly wigs. Do you remember the time we were on tour coming into a pension near Munich, Germany? And the owner came running out to our bus, excited, saying, "There's an urgent call for Pastor Peterson." And our guide said, "Well, which one? We have 3 on board." And the owner said in broken English, I don't know. That was the phone call to which became your last call to Shepherd of the Desert in Sun City, Arizona, the area in which you have since retired, your church membership now being at ALC, where your beloved wife Marjean is buried, the American Lutheran Church. A church at which I had a chance to teach and visit with friends from every congregation I've ever served. So, from my professional experience, I can surmise some of yours. Every congregation has its own personality, and given the calls that you've served, I'm sure you experienced the range all the way from whatever you say, Pastor, thanks for being our servant of God, to who do you think you are? We told you we don't like change. But I know you love them still and anyway, and serve them at their need, sometimes using both ends of the shepherd staff, sometimes drawing them in, sometimes poking them along. At least that's the servant life I've found, because that's what I've seen. Thanks, Harold. Happy birthday.